Welcome to Georgia Highlands College Math 97 and Math 99 video tutorials. In this video segment, we'll be answering the question, how do you factor a trinomial whose leading coefficient is not 1 using the trial and error method? Well, the first step in this method is to set up what you know your factors are going to look like, including those x's that multiply together to give you that x squared term. Secondly, you're going to find all factor pairs of A and then all factor pairs of C. You're going to then try various combinations of the factor pairs from A and C that are going to add up to make B, which is your middle term. And finally, you'll check your answer using multiplication. Let's look at an example. Here we have 5x squared minus 14x plus 8. And the first step in the trial and error method tells us to set up parentheses that we know that we will factor into. So that's what I've done over here, is given myself room to write the factors that I find. The second step is to find all the factor pairs of A. Well, in this particular example, A is 5. And since 5 is prime, it actually only has one factor pair, which is 1 and 5, or -1 and -5. And then our third step is to find factor pairs of 8. Well, we have 1 and 8, and we also have 2 and 4. So we found all of the factor pairs of A and all of the factor pairs of C. Now the next step in this process, this is why it's called trial and error, because you're just going to start trying various combinations of these factor pairs to see which set adds up to that middle term, -14x. So I'll start with 5x plus 2 times x plus 4. So let me just show you where that came from. I put the 5 first from here, and my 2 came from this factor pair. So that's that first set of parentheses. The second set has an understood 1 as its factor, so you don't see a 1 sitting in front of that x. And then I have the 4 sitting there. So I want to try all the combinations using these factors before I move on to a different set of factors, being the 1 and the 8 in the second slots of each set of parentheses. So I'm just going to start mixing and matching all the possibilities. So we could have 5x plus 4 and x plus 2. So I just flip-flopped the last two terms in each set of the parentheses there. Or I could have 5x minus 2 and x minus 4. Or I could have 5x minus 4 and x minus 2. Now I haven't tried combinations where the signs are different because I know these signs need to be the same because those last two numbers have to multiply together to make a positive 8. So I either need to be multiplying together a negative and a negative or a positive and a positive. So I have not mix-matched my signs and done one positive and one negative because that would give me a -8 at the end. So now we just come back and start multiplying these out and see which ones add up. And it's really the center term we're concerned with because we know every time we multiply 5x by x, we get 5x squared, which is our first term. And we know that every time we multiply 2 by 4, that we always get 8. So it's just that middle term that we need to be concerned with. And we get the middle term by multiplying the outside terms and the inside terms. So for this first one, we have 20x plus 2x, which gives us 22x, which is a no-go because we're trying to equal out to negative 14x. So moving along, we'll go ahead and try multiplying our next set to see what that middle term comes out to. Here we have 10x plus 4x, which gives us 14x. Well, it's really close, but it's the wrong sign. So we still need to keep on going. So multiplying the outside terms and the inside terms for this particular one, we get 5x times negative 4, which is negative 20x, and negative 2 times x is negative 2x, which gives us a total of negative 22x. Still not there. Last, but by far not least, multiplying the outside and the inside terms for this last set of binomials factors, we get negative 10x and negative 4x. Of course it would be the last one. Gives us negative 14x. So through trial and error, we find that 5x minus 4 times x minus 2 gives us those inside terms. So we can come up here and fill in 5x and a negative 4, positive 1, which is understood, and a negative 2. So we need to check this to make sure that everything works out as it should by simply multiplying our binomial factors. And we do that with distribution of each term in the first binomial with each term in the second binomial. So 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. Negative 4 times x gives negative 4x. And negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. And when I combine my like terms, I get 5x squared minus 14x plus 8. So, since our original polynomial matches our checked polynomial, we have that 5x minus 4 times x minus 2 is the factored form of that trinomial. I hope this has answered your questions about the method of trial and error for factoring trinomials. If you still have questions, please make sure to contact your Highlands instructor. Thank you.